speed bag looks pretty accessible here. Yeah, that looks good. Um, Tests. Okay, speaker on. What else do I need? Okay. Okay. Oh goodness. Hello guys. Uh Hello Dylan Axis Classicals. How cool are you, Deftones Lotion? Um welcome. Welcome guys. I don't do a lot of live streams, but here just mostly just jamming, hoping to answer a few questions that you guys may have as far as like speed bags and stuff. Hello, I am George, and a question from Mr. Kane. Hey bro, can you talk about your bag progression? I have a few medium-sized bags and I'm considering a smaller, faster setup. Okay, good question. And then Reza, yo, what's up? Love your work. Thank you. All right. So bag progression. You have a few medium-sized bags. So I'm assuming, if I had to just make a guess, you probably have like a Meister medium-sized bag, maybe um, maybe a Tidal. I know the default size is like a 6x9, which is so I have a Jim Bradley. This is a 6x9 bag, meaning when they say the numbers like that, that means that the 6 inches is for the diameter of the bag from one end to the other, usually when it's inflated. The 9 inch is for the length of the bag from the top to the bottom. When you say you have a medium-sized bag, I'm assuming you have something that's a bit smaller. So this is also another bag that I have. It's also another Jim Bradley X Thrasher House one. This is a 5x8, so 1 inch a little bit shorter on the diameter of the bag and 1 inch shorter on the length of the bag. So 8 inches here, 5 inches there. Grande Chinito. Sorry, I don't. I'm not too hot in the Spanish, but I apologize if I butcher your language choice. But thank you for joining in. Meister and Everlast. Okay, so Meister. I've hit on a medium-sized Meister, and depending on, yeah, if you want a smaller, faster setup, I would recommend potentially getting a Jim Bradley 5x8 bag as your next step. Reason reason I recommend this size is that the Meister bags, I've hit on a Meister bag before. For a budget bag, it's not bad, okay? But the quality of a 5x8 for it, in comparison with your Meister bag, the length of the bag is going to be a little bit shorter, which means your rebounds will be much quicker. One thing that can be said for bags that are shorter in length, your max speed, whenever you're going super fast at it, for a smaller length bag, will be much faster than the Meister one. Also, the Meister one, the leather padding is a little bit thicker, so it's not as responsive. I feel like you lose a little bit of speed from the Meister leather, sleeve, pretty much absorbing a lot of your hit, and it's easy to lose momentum on it or harder to even generate momentum on it. So I would recommend a 5x8, Mr. Kane, and Everlast. I don't think I've. I know the brand, but it's been a while since I've hit on an Everlast. But yeah, I would highly recommend this bag here. You can there's a I usually get my bags from thethrasherhouse.com. Sells a lot of swivels, but he does sell these Jim Bradley balls. He does have quite a few options for the 5x8 and the 6x9s. Please do check it out. He's a good guy. I can highly recommend it. Andre Villanueva, watch the Chop Suey video of what you got going on. Keep going on, bro. Thank you. Thank you. I had a lot of fun with that. Hello, Monk Handle. What's up, man? Soren Jones, can you do classical music? I feel like some symphonies could slap. Also, how do you progress to the hand movement you do? The skill leap from a speed bag warm-up workout to freestyle seems insane. Okay. Monk Handle, dig your content. Keep it up. Mr. Gonzalez Guevara, ¿qué estás haciendo, man? I'm assuming it's how's it going? I'm doing great. Thanks for joining in. Mr. Lamvornas Games, you're an incredible man. I try. Thanks for watching. What are my favorite rhythm games? I love DDR, love Pump It Up. And let's see. Mr. Soren Jones, so I'd like to answer your question about the hand movement first and potentially the classical music second, okay? So there's a very important distinction when I do speed bag here because most common in boxing gyms or like, you know, training to be a fighter type of thing, they only focus on two techniques. One being the forward circle punch, which is this, but as fast as possible. Right, that looked a little bit like Rocky, right? And the other one is trying to do the fist roll as possible here. Okay. Speed and power. So for a speed bag, the way that I do it, slow control is much more important for me because for me, you want to learn how to operate at slow speed and then slowly ramp it up because it's harder to go the other way where you're going super fast and then you have to learn how to slow down. The progression is not as smooth. So what I would recommend when, you know, for me, when I scale up and do my hand movements, I focus mostly on control. So one things that I like to do is to do a slow fist roll. So that'll be looking like something like this. If you notice the sound of this, it's not very loud by any means, and it's very controlled. But the thing is, even though it's soft and controlled, you'll notice that my hand placement is hitting almost the exact same spot on the bag, being the fattest part of the bag right here. And then my hands, even though they're crossing over each other, they're still making same contact. So for this particular bag, it's just like slightly below this part here, this little line. This is my sweet spot. Even if you go slow, you can't skimp on good technique. If anything, on the slow stuff, you want your technique to be nice and crisp. Because if you have very good clean technique when it's slow, then you can scale it upwards a little bit more. Your transition will be much better into it. Okay. So taking the slow fist roll, right? And then I'm just gonna do a slow version of the fist passing through like this, right? This doesn't look like a lot because, hold on, my camera angle is terrible. Sorry, this is my garage, so of course my setup is a bit scuffed. Can I make a beat on it? Yes, I can. So I can do basic quarter notes here, right? If you're a musician, this is just your basic beat, right? But then if you want to go on some, this is like musicians' quarter note. So you can double it up and do 8 notes here, right? Same thing for your left hand. And fist roll here. So So same speed as well. But then with this one, you can actually go even faster and do 16th notes or 4 times as fast, and that'll look something like this. So here's one beat you can do, like quarter beat here. Quarter notes, sorry, 15 notes. And presto. Okay, so yes, there's a lot of beat patterns that you can do on this. Classical songs. Yes, you can pair up the speed bag with classical songs. In one of my older videos, I did it to Antonio Vivaldi's Winter. Please give that one a watch later after this stream. I had a lot of fun with it. One of the main notes that I carry into when I do classical songs is I want to make sure that I balance my intensity with the classical songs, because by default when I'm hitting this in a classical music setting, this is going to sound very overpowering. And so I have to be mindful in tuning the balance and intensity of my strikes with classical music to make sure I'm just not being, that obnoxious guy just, overpowering the orchestra. I have to be a little bit more delicate and mindful about it. Let's see, Soren Jones, I always thought your style looked slightly like a Wing Chun or Kung Fu style because how perfectly circular it was. It's cool to emphasize solo control to this point. Maps Frost. Yes, I don't practice any Wing Chun or Kung Fu, but several of my friends says that doing speed bag, it follows the principle of controlling the center line here. And for speed bag, in a way, you can kind of apply that concept here because you want all of your strikes to hit pretty much at the same spot of the bag, because hitting it here will produce the rebound that you want every single time. Now, it's easy to do those in small little bits like this, right? This is nice and casual, yes? And I'm just hitting the same spot, but then you can increase the speed here and intensity. You can change up the size in which you hit the bag. You can side conscious too. And then also your body parts as well too, your elbows as well. How do you keep yourself from feeling lightheaded with it when you practice for a long time? I have to pace myself with stamina because it can get pretty hot in the garage, and during the summer it was rough on me. So I had to make sure to take a few minutes break, drink some water, don't overexert myself, because one of the common pitfalls of doing speed bag is people will treat it like doing a sprint. They go all out, just ham out way on it for like 30 seconds, 100% intensity, and then completely gas out. You have to treat this kind of a bit more like a marathon, because if you're constantly used to hitting the speed bag full force all the way through, and you just end up burning yourself out and not conserving your energy, I guess if you wanted to train for a burst like that, yes, it'd be useful. But for me, I'm more interested in improving my stamina overall, and just being able to appreciate my slower movements. I can be a little bit more methodical about when I can just maintain a certain cadence, and then instances where I need to step it up and then bring it down to manage my energy. Bro, are you so... All right, stop it, Corin. That's just ridiculous. All right. Can't stay long DT exam soon, but glad I found your channel. Love watching your videos. Thank you. Good luck up in your exams. Mr. Kane, how do you sit on the height? Looks just about at your head height. So, because, okay. This is a good rule of thumb, especially if you want to do this style of speed bag. Every bag will have a slightly different length because of the characteristics of the shape of it. This bag is a little bit more rounder, but there's one common feature that all bags will have. All bags will have a fattest part of the bag here called the belly. For this particular bag, this is the fattest part. And then for this one, this is the fattest part right here. In placement of this, you want this fattest part of the bag to be roughly around your mouth level, around your mouth level right here. Reason being is because then it makes it your body positioning more sound, so that way you can string elbows like this, right? So I don't, if I was a little bit lower as if I was doing boxing style, I really have to reach up to do these elbows, and that's a lot of angle for me to do. But if I'm up here, my elbows are going to be parallel to my body, or like my shoulder line here. It'll be pretty much parallel, and that'll be less strain on me, less chance of injuring my shoulders. And then it also makes it quicker for me to learn proper form, because the concept of speed bagging with this is making sure that your body mechanics and placement are efficiently within the same plane, so you can apply different kinds of techniques, different size of bag, different body parts. You may have gotten this question before, but do I box? No, I do not currently box, but I did take less than a year of like boxing lessons. So fundamentals, like, here's your basic punches, jab, cross, hook, footwork, stuff like that. I wasn't spectacular at it, but I at least understood. I'm a bit of an informed idiot on boxing. I know how it's supposed to work, but not an expert. Okay. Wall floor breathe. Let's see. UI moon with the fist. Yeah, the bits where you use your elbows reminds me of trapping hands sometimes. With your pockets. Yes. Would you use the speed bag as drums in a band? If I was in a band, if I was in a band, I think it would be a very interesting time, because one is like, it's very cool to do it, right? Because this is a very unorthodox equipment. We can agree on that. The only problem I would see as far as like the tech setup is like how to properly mic this up, how to make sure that this is balanced. I mean, I guess it's easier because it's only one piece of equipment, but there's a lot of variation in the quality of sound depending on how much, which technique or how much power you hit it with. So balancing this would probably be a bit of a nightmare. Yeah. Chris, thank you for King. Dubsy does, what PSI do you usually inflate your Ronnie and Jim Bradley bags? So that is a good question. As a rule of thumb, when I inflate these bags, I usually like to be able to push my thumb inwards a little bit and get a little bit of press on it. So I usually inflate these to about 2.8 psi each. Now, if I want a bit of a stiffer and like a stronger session, I go up to about 3. But the point is, I don't want to inflate these to the point where it feels like I'm hitting rocks. That defeats the purpose for me, because I want, in having a little bit less air in these bags, this teaches me sensitivity, because there's a lot of soft touch and subtlety going on in here. And the entire time that I'm hitting the speed bag, most, boxing people clench their fist, close it, like, and you can see the forearm tense up, like they're really gonna slug someone. But in speed bag, you want to cut tension here. You want to introduce like different amounts of pressure, or at least like a more gentle pressure when you're hitting it, so it's better control. It's almost as if I'm holding a soft boiled egg in my hand and I'm wrapping it just enough to encase the egg, but not hard enough to crack the egg and let the yolk spill out and ruin my hand. Mr. Kane, thank you for answering my question. I'll post some clips on my Insta. A few friends in the chop video. Thank you on popularity. Thank you. Yeah, I'm still very puzzled how it all kind of blew up. I mean, but I'm grateful nonetheless. A lot of you guys have really loved this stuff, and I'm truly grateful. How long have you been doing what you do? 2 years and 4 months. Question from Stephanie Yoon. How long does it take you to practice songs and record them about what you do? This is dependent on the song, but as a rule of thumb, it usually takes me about 2 to 3 weeks per song, usually between 20 to 30 takes. Now, sometimes, like these last few days, I've just been blasting out videos like pretty frequently, almost like a couple uploads like every day, and that's a rarity because I was just kind of in the zone. I was feeling good. My sessions were recording right, but the opposite is true too. Um, the chop suey one, I would say that took me about a month. Like I had to review my choreography, come up with it from scratch, try it out, figure out I'm not happy with it, discard, draft, redraft how to, make it fit the song better. There was a lot of trial and error to get it to where I felt it was right. It's in a way I'm like a dancer choreographing my own, setting up my own moves to a song. But instead of dancing, I'm hitting patterns to a speed bag. There's definitely a lot of room for creative expression, which I love, and that's the main reason why I do this because it's everybody who does speed bag to music will interpret it a little bit differently, and this just happens to be the flavor that I offer. Yeah. Um, yeah, miking that would be awful because two main sound effects. Theoretically, a single mic in between would work. What is the hardest bit of videos? I mean, I guess, what is the bottleneck of me and my videos? Me. I'm human. I make mistakes. I make so many bad takes because, like, there's one point where, like, none of my videos are perfect. Let me preface that. None of my videos are perfect. There's always minor blemishes and imperfections in every single one of my uploads. Right? But the point is, I try to make footage that is aimed for perfection. Doesn't quite get there, but at least the best that I could accomplish given that time period and my current skill level at that time. It's almost like a little time capsule. And the hardest bit about videos is like the amount of bloody takes that I have to do. But that's part of the improvement process for me because I don't want to be complacent and be like, this take is good enough. Because those words are a little bit dangerous to me. If I say a certain take is good enough because I was lazy or, my passion for this was dwindling, then that usually means that I've hit a plateau and I need to really, reflect on this because this is supposed to be like a journey of like continual improvement. And yes, sometimes I may hit plateaus naturally because it just takes me a really long time to break through it, but I don't want to just stay at said plateau voluntarily, if that makes sense. Hand, shoes, and horse. Interesting name, horse grenades. Howdy Bard, what was the first song you learned and was it intentional or more of a happy accident? So, all of my song covers are intentional. My original inspiration was when I saw Alan Kahn or Speedbag Bible hit a cover to Journey's Don't Stop Believing. That's how I fell in the rabbit hole. The first song I attempted this to was probably Coldplay's Viva La Vida, but the one that I have a very fond memory for is Rasputin by Boney M. That's one of my favorite songs because there's a lot of room for expression and there's a lot of way to chart your own progress and improvement on that song. Matter of fact, I might actually hit to that song in a little bit once I catch up on questions here. Have a good night, Mr. Kane. Pyrite Nightmare. Knowing you do these in one take really reminds me of speedrunning. Yes. Like doing you possibly can in one go after lots of practice and attempts. Yes. Sometimes my RNG is bad. Usually my RNG is bad because I die. Or like, I make some pretty bad mistakes, right? But that's okay because every failure, every mistake I make, it gives me an opportunity to sit down, learn from it, figure out if it's not working, how do I revisit or patch up that section here. Onyat, A fancy little N above there. Gotta love the part of YouTube. That's just good quality effort content. Thank you. I appreciate that. Soren Jones makes sense. You've done a lot of work so far. Final Fantasy, One Winged Angel cover. Reinvigorated my interest. Thank you for that. Yes. well, sorry. Pirate, when I die, I mean, like, I make mistakes, and that's like in speedrunners when they make mistakes, and that pretty much kills the run. They have to restart the run, right? I make certain mistakes in my videos that make me go, all right, cut the recording. This is a bad take. Just restart. Okay. Jeremiah Jose, thank you very much for sharing the sauce. I love your videos. Really appreciate all the effort you put into your craft. Truly, thank you. A taken down. Mind if I recommend a song for a speedback video? You can down if you want. Yeah, I'm open to hearing song requests. Don't be shy. The delay is like I have to figure out a way to mix it in properly, or if I can. So, but yeah, feel free to throw out suggestions. Don't be shy. I do read all of the comments that you guys read through. Now, as far as me actually fulfilling them, that's very kind of time and circumstance dependent. But I do thank you for your patience, and I am aware of what you guys submit me. So thank you. Dubs C Dubs, getting really caught up on elbow strikes. Apologies for the broad question. Any tips? Yes, I have some tips for elbow strikes. So when you're learning elbow strikes, there are generally 3 types of elbow strikes you can throw. Let's just pretend you're the speedback for now so you can see the angles. First one is the inward elbow strike. Second one is the outward elbow strike. And then third one is the downward, okay? Here is the order I would recommend for you to learn. First, learn the outward elbow strike first, the downward one second, and then lastly, the inward one third, because it's easier to acquire those in that order. Do you box to learn the speeds? I don't box. I took 1 year lessons. I'm a speedback specialist. Song is Freebird by Lynyrd Skynyrd. I hope I'm saying Lynyrd Skynyrd correctly. Yes, that one is a long one, and that is a very popular request. My main issue with that is that my stamina is the limiting factor. I'm like pretty gassed if I do the whole song from one single take. So I'm still figuring out something for that. Thank you, Wallflower. Thank you for speaking. We all appreciate your skills to keep getting better. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for continually supporting me. Elbow strikes. Let me demonstrate a little bit, okay? So elbow strikes, thing that's very important when you're doing elbow strikes, regardless of type, you want to make sure that your elbows are roughly just slightly below your shoulders. One of the most common mistakes is your elbows will generally be at rib cage level, or worse, even below that, and that's usually not optimal, because when you're doing an elbow strike, if you're here, not only do you have to raise your elbow to the right height, you also have to introduce it into the bag. That's 2 movements. When you do elbow strikes, you want to have your elbows at the right level already, and then that economizes it, and so now you only have to do 1 movement, okay? Yes, thank you. See that? Thanks for your concern. So let me do it like this. So in elbow strikes, one little physical cue that you can take is pretend like you're tapping your own shoulder like this, right? It's nothing fancy, right? You're just tapping your shoulder and you're getting used to your body kind of twisting a little bit. I'm exaggerating here a little bit, but you're used to getting your body twisting like this, right? Like this. Now, yeah, and of course in a real fight you have to protect your rib cage, but for the sake of the speedbag, you want to be comfortable with elbows right up here. Because what happened here is the outward elbow strike is pretty much you reversing that movement from here to here. So it looks like this. So that's the outward variation. If you want to do the downward variation, it's similar, right? You want these up as much as you can, but then just slightly arch it up. Pretend like you're doing a hammer fist, right? Arch it up a little bit and then bring it down. So it looks something like this. Whoops. Now, you'll notice I'm hitting double strikes. I'm hitting with the elbow and the fist, and it's just for me, I would recommend that because if you do singles, right, there's a room of error for your fist to be in the wrong place when you're doing single elbow strikes. And then when you eventually tie in your fist and your elbow combinations, that bad habit can carry back and haunt you. So I would recommend working doubles slowly, like just unfold that elbow here. Just unfold it. Touch your opposite shoulder right here and release. Touch your opposite shoulder like that. Outward elbow is the easiest one to learn, but it does take time to do it well. Okay. Stephanie, you. I grew up with Epic High. I love the fly cover. Yes, I love Epic High. Plans to do any new gen K-pop covers? I was thinking about New Jeans a little bit. I was thinking about New Jeans a little bit. It's been a while since I've listened to them. And any other new pop? Yeah, it's on my mind, but I just have to really kind of find um, the songs that I like. I do like K-pop though. 18, let's see, Soren Jones, 1812 Overture, Fly the Bumblebees, Little Crow. Yes, and make sure. So my immediate issue with Fly the Bumblebees, let me see. I think it'll be quicker if I demonstrate, okay? Sorry, I'm gonna pause off on questions here. 1 second. Sorry, James Handshoes and Pyrite. Um, Let me do Fly the Bumblebees here. 1 second. Okay, speakers on. 1 second, guys. Basic rhythm. Okay, let's pause that. So this is my own difficulty with those types of songs, with the Fly the Bumblebee and stuff. And I also had this issue with the um, what was it? Z Project. It was a rhythm game song I did earlier. Sorry. Um, with these types of songs, if I wanted to hit it faithfully to the song, it would mean that I'll be mostly hitting 16th notes. And that means I'll either be hitting a fist roll like this, or I would be bumping, which means alternating piston fist like this. Okay? These two techniques are very cool and nice to see. But if I did that for, a minute and a half, 2, 3 minutes straight, it's very dry to look at, isn't it? And so I have to figure out ways to spice it up. But these two techniques are probably the fastest executable techniques that you can do, fist rolling and fist bumping. There's not really a lot of faster techniques than those two. And so that's just one consideration I have to think about. My speed on the speed bag is also limited, not only to my skill, but also the length and the fact that this bag must hit and rebound with my speed bag drum in order to make that sound. So ideally, I want my bag to be like, rebounding like this, but I have to make that contact each and every single time per hit. So one of the limitations to work around, but that's okay. That's okay. Elbow strikes, favorite part, yes. Elbow strikes are fun. Nugent's is also fun, yes. Let me see. Okay, yes. Believe I answered those questions here. I would like to show you another demonstration. So this is earlier in this live stream, I talked about Boney M's Rasputin is one of my favorite songs to do because there's a lot of ways that you can show improvement impression with that. So let me cue that up here. If you're learning Speedbag and you want to try out a song to kind of chart your improvement, I highly recommend this one. This is one song that I kept coming back to as my skill and experience with the Speedbag grew. And this is a nice way to check off to see how much you've truly grown. So here is Rasputin by Boney M. When you're first starting off, basic strikes only. Let's pick it up a notch. You can also go slower. Okay, sorry. My signal was kind of choppy a little bit there, so I'll just. That's a good place to stop there. Okay. So as you can see, As your skill and comfort and interchangeability of techniques improve, you can find ways to really spice it up, really, up the notch on these. And this development, the speed of your own progress, and the choices of the technique you implement, this is pretty much very, very free flow. It's up to you how you want to train it. It's up to you how you want to stitch the moves together. What kind of songs you gravitate towards. Everyone has a little bit of a different taste and a little bit of a different way to express it. And that's the fun of it. There's the basic techniques you can learn, yes, but how you string them together, that's what's gonna make your flavor. Brother, show me your videos. I love them. Thank you. Do you think I can play 4 Minute 33 by Johnny Cage? I've never heard that song, so I will have to do a little bit of TBD on that. Saying, this is what I come back to on yachts. Wow, you can just do that. Yes, I've been doing that. Easiest song to learn my power, sensei. That is probably one of the easiest songs you can do. Another one that you can do as well too is Neo's "Because of You." That song, when you're starting off and doing songs with these, I highly recommend choosing a song that has a little bit slower, around 100 to 120 beats per minute. It's a bit of a slower song. This will give you time to do the basic techniques on it, and then as you get better, it'll give you more room to properly interlace the more difficult stuff. Thomas Herrera, System Down cover was amazing. Thank you. Yeah, a lot of work into that. So, Orange Juice, do you think this will translate to actual boxing? If you tried it again, your hand speed is very good. Yes and no. Yes and no. So, there's a lot of things that I'm not doing when I'm doing speed bag, which are very important for boxing. You have to take in mind that when you're doing boxing, there's a lot of components that a boxer trains on in isolation. For example, jump rope. They want to improve their stamina, their footwork, stay light on their feet. Pad work, heavy bag work. They want to be able to deliver with power and be able to torque their body correctly in order to deliver the strong strikes. Speed bag, you want to be able to keep your shoulders up, your hand-eye coordination sharp, and the ability to recognize the range. I mean, obviously, this is a very safe environment because at most, this bag will only extend 8 inches from the center of this. In a real fight, you have to learn to read your opponent's range, depending on the length of their step bend, the length of their wingspan, and their tells and tendencies. There's a lot of mental chess that goes on in boxing because in a way you're dissecting your opponent's capabilities, their tendencies, their tells, and then their weaknesses. And part of learning to achieve victory is finding a way to find out what are your conditions for victory and then avoiding your conditions for defeat. So bit of a complicated answer. As a step, this is one tool of many to train the boxing. The hand speed will be correct, but then you also need to mix in footwork. You also need to be able to mix in your proper body torquing, right? Because a lot of your power is generated from your legs and then translated into your hands and fists. And you have to make sure you maintain that kinetic linking so you properly deliver the amount of force you need in the most efficient way. Awesome work. 4 Minute 33 is a performance art where the song has 0 notes. That's the one where they open the piano and then just everyone coughs awkwardly for a little bit. Yeah, sorry, I missed that joke. Pyrite Nightmare. From what I've seen, the songs that come out best are ones with speed up, slow down, sudden stops, and trades. Plus, it's multiple different clear checks you can follow. Yes, I love those types of songs because if a song has a lot of different variations, this also gives me a lot of room to try out different techniques, different inflections, and different ways to change up my technique. Because as exciting as it would be for someone to see me slugging at this away for like 5-6 minutes straight, full power all the way through, sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of deliberate slowdowns and choices here. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, please. It's just 20 seconds. Joaco the Marco, hi, I just came over to see you are insane. Love what you do. Greetings from Argentina. Wow. Very worldwide. Hey, Joaco, thank you. Appreciate you. You with the is it the game controllers or the lungs? um Stephanie Yoon, okay, be honest. Have you ever accidentally hit yourself with either the bag or your hand while practicing? Multiple times. Yes. Yes, I have. Yes, there are multiple times where I'm hitting away at the bag, right? And then sometimes because I'm lazy or I'm sloppy, my face is too close, and then I just end up slugging myself here. Or sometimes if I do like these types of traps, there are some occasions where I accidentally like hit the board and stuff. This is a major ouchie. Don't do that. Don't hit your hand on the platform. They're very yeah, yeah. Good perspective. Thanks for these answers. I try. There is 1812 Overture with cannons from Tchaikovsky's. I know the one, especially the finale one. That's yeah. Yes, that's very fast. That's very fast. If I was to do that one, yeah, whew, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. I won't lie. Let's see. Is this a sword skill you ever like show off to people IRL? Do you memorize the songs long term? So I think this is a skill that if people I sometimes hit the speed bag in like a more public setting, and if people come to me and ask me questions about it, I'm more than happy to share the knowledge, really, because I mean it does me no good at all just to hoard this stuff, because it just it's better when this type of stuff is shared and then like as a community discussed with and improved on. Okay. And do you memorize the songs long term? Not really. So I don't remember the exact choreography that I did for my older footage. Reason being is like I kind of try to draft it as free flow as possible. My mood and like the level of my skill that day when I recorded is like just pretty much a photo capture of my thoughts and processes that day. Over time, when I review older footage or older songs, um, sometimes I may come up with a different idea, and that's fine because that's what helps keep it organic, and that's helps what keeps it a little bit varied and different. Chop Suey video got so popular because all the stops in it. I highly agree. Yeah, it was neat. Yeah, the stoppings, the spins, that's not a very common technique in traditional boxing speed bagging. So yeah, it's definitely a nice little brain wrinkler to see those. Will this be a good workout for a beginner? Yes, yes, this would be a very good workout for absolutely a beginner because you're keeping your hands and shoulders up for an extended period of time. This has some very good benefits in boxing because you want to keep your guard up. You want to keep your hands up to be able to try to at least reduce the amount of damage or contact, clean hits that you get to your face right here, right? In boxing, we focus on the strong hits. We focus on the heavy hits on the bag. We focus on a lot of the mid work. One of the things that's not very popular but very important to learn is defense. Okay? You won't throw punches if you're on the turf. If you're knocked out on the canvas, you're not throwing any punches. You have to properly defend yourself. Okay? Are there any songs you've attempted to learn couldn't figure out for any reason? Yes, there are quite a few of those, hand shoes and horse grenades. Um, yeah, so some of the songs that I have difficulty learning are ones that have like a lot of intensity that I have to figure out how to distill down. So I've gone quite. I'm kind of baffled at how many requests for like metal songs I've gotten, like Slipknot, Dragon Force, Metallica, and some of those it's like there's a lot going on. Like even the Bleed by Meshuggah one, that took me a very long time to figure out because I had to figure out how to distill everything that Tomas from Meshuggah does on his drums and then distill it down to what I can do here. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to capture the whole kit because I have one piece of equipment and his whole drum kit, a lot of different options. but trying to figure out how to capture that soul of what he's playing and just to get that essence, right? There are occasionally some songs where it's a little bit too hard for me to distill it down, and those I usually just put on the shelf and then revisit later. Is there a kind of freestyle between two executions of the same song? Do you always keep repeating the same patterns? I sometimes am guilty of repeating the same patterns, but I do try to mix it up a little bit. I tend to favor certain techniques because I'm just more comfortable with them, or I've worked on them for a very long time where it's more muscle memory for me to execute them. But I do try to mix in a little bit of different stuff just to keep it visually appealing. The wallflower. How does this improve your physical health since 2 years and 4 months? Well, I guess my endurance has gotten a lot better as far as like being able to hit the songs. The way that I hit too, like I'm moving my elbows in and out quite a lot of bits. So I would say I have better range of motion for my upper body area, which is good. Like especially for like office workers who are like mostly sedentary and typing, like this can get very tight, and this is a good way to kind of break off the rust from that and clear that up too. I think my posture has gotten a little bit better because you have to square up with the bag. So, and there's a lot of good mental properties for me when I do hit the speed bag, because if you want to hit the speed bag in a very nice, controlled, and fast manner, you have to learn how to tune out the unimportant stuff. Like when I'm flailing away at this and doing all this stuff here, that's a lot of motion, right? But for me, it's just, I'm thinking of, I'm hitting the bag consecutively as small and efficient as possible. And, it looks very fast, but it's because I've slowly chained and worked those pieces together slowly. And then I've continued to ramp the speed up and up to where it's now fast and smooth. Will you cover Otonoke Sunday? Creepy nuts. Yes, I will cover it someday. Matter of fact, let me just show you the first draft of what I have. It's not good, okay? Let me preface that. It's really not good, but this is my first initial attempts on doing it. So let me load that up here. Let's see. Otonoke Creepy Nuts. 1 second. 1 second. Okay, so as you can see, that was incredibly rough, right? That was very rough. Main difficulties I have with that song is like the very beginning when he's doing the dun 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 dun. That's like very hard to articulate on the bag, and I'm still scratching on my head on how to do it properly. There's also a lot of tempo changes and stuff, and it's like I kind of like my slower articulation on this much more because it's much easier to do, but at the same time it sounds very wimpy compared to the actual intensity of the song. So a lot of things I can do, but yeah, that's yeah, the tempo is very hard to work with properly because if I wanted to really match that intensity, I need to do it way faster and way harder, but then that kind of gets a little bit wonky to do, especially with all the crazy stuff going on. I should do a slow mo video. I'm not too hot on the video editing, so I'll have to see what I can do. Alice in Chains song. What is Alice in Chains? I'm not sure what that is. Doing this off the cuff is actually insane. Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of the stuff that I do, um, or like before even I post the videos of it, that's kind of the finished product or like the finished development of my ideas of the song. There's a lot of stuff that I don't upload because frankly it's kind of atrocious for me. Like there's a lot of errors that I make. I haven't really fully figured out how to cook the song, so there's a lot of undeveloped ideas and I'm it just it's it's a little shameful for me to put out videos where I do the unfinished practices when I'm still haven't even figured it out. It's a little bit lazy for me to publish a video like that, in my opinion. But some people might actually enjoy that explorative process. Soren Jones raises a good point. Couldn't you do both? Yes, because you do high intensity and then slow choreography to showcase both styles of control. Yes, I can. Um, it's kind of figure out when within the song that I change it up a little bit because I want to make sure to match the feel of the song as well as like the timing as well too. But yeah, it just takes a bit more work for me to figure it out and do properly and all that stuff. Yeah. Um, so yeah, I hope I hope that was like a little nice illustration of what my initial practice drafts look like. You should cover Wood by Alice in Chains. Let me just see if I can take a peek at that song. Alice in Chains. Alice in Chains. And the song is called Wood. Is it this one? This is my first time I heard this song, by the way. Good night, Handshoes. It's like a metal song-ish. kind of butchered that ending, but yeah, that was my first time listening to that, so hopefully that was acceptable. So do I do any other workout to facilitate this? So I dedicate most of my exercise to speed bag, and honestly, I should mix in a couple things because it does get a little bit one dimensional for me just to work upper body, right? I really I know the joke for all people that gym is like they hate leg day, um, but I truly should work in some other workouts that focus on the other parts of my body. Insane Site Redo by CBX. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Yes, this one is also a very good candidate for doing some slower stuff. Um, Kermit the Thug, would you say this is something that's helped you develop from a musical perspective, like hearing different pieces of songs more keenly? Yes, there is definitely a lot of good overlap between. I truly believe that musicians and rhythm gamers would really find a lot of good overlap with doing the speed bag because they're used to, doing inputs on time with certain phrases of a song, or like, especially for rhythm gamers, they're familiar with the patterns for the beat charts and all that. They can create their own beat charts on this. And each song, each genre will have a different flow, a different energy, a different enunciation on how certain beats and notes are played. And I think that'll be something that they'll find very fun to do. Um, for me, part of the reason that's helped me to get very good at this is that my music choice is very eclectic. I dip into a lot of different cultures. I listen to English songs. I listen to Korean songs. I listen to a couple of J-pop too. I really love YOASOBI and Hololive as well, of course. But being able to sample all of those different, cultures of music and then figuring out how to play along with it, it's almost like the feeling that I am in a cover band of my own imagination. And every time I'm like the guest musician that gets to perform at these, already established songs and bands, and I have to best figure out how do I match their vibe? How do I play in a way that still showcases some good chops, but not in a way that gets the other band members mad that I'm stealing their thunder? These are the types of questions that I ask myself whenever I approach a song, because it's that mindset that helps me to be very mindful about what I do. I don't want to just go in and do all my chops. Like that's very insensitive to the song. And each of these musicians, these songwriters, they put a lot of thought and process to create these songs. The best I can do to reciprocate that respect is to try to imagine it from their end. What kind of message were they trying to make? And then find a way to where I can kind of complement that already well established message. Which is, let's see, could I do Lithium by Nirvana? I haven't heard Nirvana too much. This will also be another first read. So let's see. Nirvana, Lithium. Hold on. I've never heard this song, so hold on. Never mind, I've heard this song, but it's been a very long time. Yeah, this is a nice one to do slower stuff too. Because especially this intro part's very delicate.
okay, 'cause so are you. Broke your ears, someday more. 'Cause every day for all I care, when I'm not here, down my candles in our days, 'cause I found God.
Okay. Hope you guys liked it for sight read here. Yeah. Have you heard of Iron Butterfly Nagata Davida? Iron Butterfly and a Gata Davida. Sorry, I have not heard of it. Insane drum solo. Okay, I'll have to check it out. Yeah, thank you guys for enjoying this. Kids Alright by Offspring. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, that song was actually that song was pretty good to showcase a lot of the slow and the fast stuff. Yeah, very very yeah, good song recommendation. Yeah. Second the Offspring request. Thanks for your tip. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah. Let's see. The Kids Aren't Alright by Offspring. Kids Aren't Alright. Thank you. Yeah, let me just leave a heart on that. Kids aren't alright. Yeah, let's try that. Offspring, Kids Aren't Alright. I can hard this song, but let's see what we can do. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. That was an interesting one to do. Well, it makes a good song a good candidate for a cover. Compatibility and likability, right? So I have to like the song, and of course, I try to make sure that my music taste is very varied. I listen to a lot of different stuff because I want to try to be a little bit more open minded to songs that even I've never heard before, right? But once I listen to a song quite a bit, I can tell usually after a bit if it's something that I can immediately work on and get it done relatively in short time, which is always a good thing. Means more video for you guys. B is okay. This song, I got a lot of work cut out for me, but I think I can manage it within 2 3 weeks, 1 to 3 months, or never with my current skill as of right now. Or the fifth, fifth one is like I'm not really digging it. So um, yeah, there's a lot of variability for my own personal preference and my own bias, but I also try to stitch it in a way to where I can accomplish it with my given skill set right now. So, um, thank you guys for enjoying that. Super fun to watch you get into it live. Seems like you really enjoyed that one. Yeah, that was a pretty fun one to do. Um, Thank you. You made my Sunday 1 a.m. a lot happier. Thank you. I appreciate that. Flow is so cool. Thank you. And then thank you for the request. That was a good one. I agree. So this was a kind of a good one to point out here. So within this song I just did just now, there was a section where I tried to go a bit faster, like much faster. As you can tell, it drains a lot more stamina for me, and it's a lot harder for me to kind of control that. In my earlier cover for Dragon Force Through the Fire and Flames, around the 4.5 minute mark, I attempted to do the same thing where I tried to like really pick it up and speed it up, right? Obviously, that at the time, Dragon Force Through the Fire Flames, I obviously bit off a bit more than I chewed, but um, it was still a good experience because it's kind of pushing my threshold a little bit. I obviously want to challenge those areas and at least identify areas I can work on, so I can be conscious of it. Kermit, how often do you generally work the speed bag, and out of that, how much is for music? So I try to at least shoot for 30 to 45 minutes every other day. That's kind of like a good baseline for me because I don't want to get rusty. And also it's very good therapy for me. Like it's a good way to kind of vent out, you know, the general toils and troubles of the normal day. It's a good way to get those out positively. And how much is it for music? So I would say good 2/3 of each of my sessions for music. The first 1/3 is like, pretty much calibration. I have to make sure that my body's working correctly. And that usually means like a couple of like just practice things, drills. Like one of the things that I'll check for before, during each session is how smooth my fist roll is, right? If I got nice control on this and I can keep this going, change the tempos and do all this stuff, bringing elbows, right? This tells me a lot of things. One, is my condition for speed bag good? Am I mentally in the zone to hit music, right? Or, am I able to focus on this properly and execute properly? These things tell me a lot of things because depending on the results of that kind of frames really the remaining 2/3 of my practice. If my first 1/3 of the practice is not good, and I mean nothing's clicking, I turn off the camera. I just put on music only and I just jam and flow, right? There's no point in me beating myself up over something because I've had a less than stellar, practice session. It always happens. There's always going to be practice sessions where it's like a normal baseline, right? There's always going to be sessions where like, oh man, everything's clicking, like everything's fantastic. And then there's the one where there's always going to be sessions where you just feel like a dirt, just like, oh, sorry, not a dirt. You feel like a worm kind of like squirming around the dirt, trying to figure out what's going on. And regardless of how productive or unproductive your practice sessions are, you still want to be kind to yourself and continue to allow yourself to grow, right? there's no point in self-sabotaging yourself and beating yourself up. Just if you haven't really, if you're not, putting out footage that's worth it, at least try to gain experience, right? You're not always going to have a victory every time. Sometimes you'll have a couple L's. Sometimes you have a couple losses, but losses are always good sources for learning. Um, you just have to kind of reinvent them in your head positively to be able to, take the learning and gleanings from each session. Um, do I play any other instruments? Yes, I play a little bit of piano. Do you have any idea of the next song you will cover? If so, what is it? uh, yes, I have an idea of the next song that I would like to cover, but I'm gonna keep that a secret for now. Okay, I'm gonna keep that a secret for now. Reason being is, if I tell you what song it is, never mind. Let's not even go down that route. Let's just say that this is something that I've been wanting to really do well. Like this is a song that is very well known and well established within the speedbag community. So in a way, when I eventually do this song, I want to do a proper homage to it. So I won't get into any more. I don't want to spoil the surprise. If in fact I think I leaked too much, let's just let's just go on to the next question. Speed piano, uh, speed piano. That's ridiculous. Just imagine me hitting this, and then like I've got like a little dinky little keyboard, like dee 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 dee. Just the sound balancing will be a nightmare. It's a cute idea though. Got a great mindset. I try. Yeah, Eye of the Tiger. So I did do Eye of the Tiger a while back, and actually, yeah, since I've done it a while back, this was before I started overlaying the audio onto top of my speedback footage. So honestly, that is a potential candidate for a redo. A lot of the footage that I posted before March of 2024 here, a lot of the videos I uploaded before March of 2024 is pretty messy audio wise because I'm playing this speaker in the background. I'm hitting the speed bag, and the common problems is that the speed bag will either A, drown out the sound of the music, or B, the opposite, the music will drown out the sound of the speed bag. That's one of the many problems that a lot of the commenters have pointed out to me, saying, hey, you need to overlay your stuff. Hey, you need to overlay your stuff. And then, I tried it. It is better, but, I can't retroactively go back and fix the older footage without re-recording it, because there's no way for me realistically to dissect and chop off the audio music from my older clips, just take that speedback segment and then re-overlay music. It's better for me just to do it from scratch, because then that gives me an opportunity for me to revisit and re-challenge the songs that I did. For that very reason, you'll see on my channel, I've been recently re-uploading song covers. Like for example, the latest one, Epic High's Fly. That was a song cover that I did very early in my speedback training, and frankly, it was very basic. But this time, I was able to kind of revisit and improve on that choreography that I initially had. And I hope to do something similar with a lot of my videos. And if it does seem spammy, I do apologize, but for me, this is a very good way to kind of put a little time capsule on each of the songs I covered, and just reopen that time capsule and then add in another sheet of paper, being like, hey, I was here. So, Wolfgang, yes, there is a speedback community. Go on Instagram. I also have a handle, the same, Speedback Bard. You'll find me on Instagram. Click on the people that I follow. A lot of those guys are going to be speedbaggers. A lot of them will have a lot of techniques that I can't do, and that's awesome. That means that I have so much to learn from them, and hopefully they have something to learn from me. It's a cross exchange of information, knowledge, and it's fantastic. Okay. Lose Yourself. I haven't done Eminem's Lose Myself. What is my favorite song that I did. Favorite song that I did ever. Dang. If we're talking about complexity, probably it's gonna be Chop Suey or Polyphia, or Playing God by Polyphia. Excuse me, because both of those have a lot of different tempo changes. Both of those have a lot of different techniques and different ways to articulate stuff. Um, there's a very high skill ceiling for each one of those, and I had a lot of fun doing it. I mean, I was scratching my head figuring out what the heck kind of choreography am I gonna make for it. But once it was done, I had a lot of fun with it. Sandstorm would be awesome. Yes, I agree. Sandstorm would be awesome. Um, so Sandstorm, so I did play a little bit of it live, I believe on my last session. I don't have recorded video of it yet. But I mean, it's a popular request. It'll be there sometime, but I still need to work on it. It's a very fast song. It's a very fast song. Where am I from? I'm in the States. I'm in the U.S. Mateo Belmont, am I a drummer? Absolutely not. Uh, but I do dabble on the piano a little bit. Yes. Yeah. Let me see. Let me see. Other questions, other comments. Yeah, I've been really appreciating a lot of the. You guys are asking some very good questions, and I'm very thankful for the amount of curiosity and interest that you guys have. I really thought you'd be playing drums. Um, I get that comment quite a bit, and I understand it because a lot of the articulations of it, there's a lot of carryover. Fun fact too is that Alan Kahn, the guy who wrote the book about the speed bag, he was originally a drummer, so he attempted to find a way to translate his drumming background into the speed bag. So yes, that's why you'll see a lot of overlap. I mean, there are some techniques that you can do. Like there's one called the paradiddle where it's like a one hand, opposite hand, and a double up. So it looks like this, right? Right. And then yeah, you can definitely work drum rudiments into this to work on different combinations. There's a guy also named called Drum Language. He's a drummer too, but he also does speed backing, and he marries those two concepts very, very well. Mateo Belmont, awesome stuff. Love your videos. Thank you. From Colombia. Very long time. Yes. Yeah. Different country. Thank you. Appreciate that. Uh, Jar, J3R, may ask me, do you watch or know anime? Yes, another one called Kickback. I know Kickback. Yes. Yeah. I like that song. Challenging, but it's a fun one to do. Thankful for the answers. Try to, yes, of course, yes. How to get from basic speed back to that. Yes, so if anything, I would recommend learn slow control first. Okay? When I mean learn slow control, I mean like really getting this down. And then this down. Because if you mix these two techniques, right, you'll be able to do a lot of things here with just rolling and linking. Right? Just those two techniques. If you work on slow, steady control and being able to do, comfortable transitions, you will learn quite a lot. Also, follow this guy called Speedback Thrasher. He's on YouTube. Has a playlist called How to Speedback the Easy Way. That's also another resource I used when I was learning this stuff. Heavily recommend it. Do I play rhythm games? Not as much anymore. I played a lot of DDR and Pump It Up way back in the day. Rhythm gamers appreciate if you play Yomi, or I don't know what that is. I'm assuming something like Bad Apple or like Brain Power by Noma. Am I a happy person with sad moments or a sad person with happy moments? Both. Both. Always both. Yeah. You always gotta enjoy all the flavors of life, your joys, your sorrows. You got to have both the sweet parts and the sour parts of life to really enjoy things. Yeah, because without the one or the other, you can't truly appreciate the other one. Um, Very happy person, happy moments. Yes, seems like that. I've been very blessed lately. Um, Me and other rhythm gamers from the community love your videos. Thank you, truly. Yeah, thank you. I'm jealous that you guys have all the good songs. Like seriously, Osu has amazing songs. Beat Saber has some really awesome songs. Like Camille, was a Japanese composer Camellia. That dude is insane. Like his works are insanely impressive. Very hard to do though. Like it's it's extremely hard to do. Yeah. Do I speak other languages? Just conversationally, yes. Conversationally, I speak a little Korean. It's not. It's pretty rough, but and then I know a little bit of Spanish, but that's even worse than conversation. It's more like common phrases here or there. What other hobbies do I have besides speedbag? Uh, Besides speedbag, I also pickleball a little bit too. I find that pretty fun. Um, it's kind of like a uh, it's kind of like a portmanteau between tennis and squash. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Hardest song I've ever played. If we're talking hardest song I ever played, either Meshuggah's Bleed or Dragon Force's Through the Fire and Flame. It's got to be one of those two. Those two songs were extremely difficult for me to upload. And even after I uploaded it, I felt like this video I'm uploading is absolute garbage, right? And I almost felt a little bit ashamed of it because, I've spent so much time on those two songs. Like, I've really grinded those two songs. And at the time, that was the best that I could muster, right? But, seeing so many people enjoy, that instance of me uploading it is like, um, it's pretty humbling in a way, because then it takes the reference of me off of me of being perfect versus, me continually learning to grow. Yeah. So, Soren Jones, thanks. I'll check him out. Probably couldn't crash. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks a lot. I mean, Alchem for this. I think it's already us. I'm truly thankful. Kermit the Dog. Are there any other songs of the channel you think should be seen more for the level of quality effort I put into them? Um, yes. Yeah, I think there are quite a few songs that I am very proud of. I was actually a little bit sad when my version of One Winged Angel didn't quite take off as I thought it should have, because I put a lot of heart and soul into that one just to try to match it with the movie choreography too. But then again, the algorithm has recommended certain songs of mine that I thought were pretty suboptimal. Like, I really didn't expect Feel Good Gorilla to pop off. Um, and, but it's okay. Another one that I really enjoyed doing was the recent one. There was one called "Crazy Shuffle" by Yo. It's a song featured in a rhythm game called Dance uh, Rush Stardom. That's a really fun song too. I should have given a second wing for a second one for it to take off. Probably, yeah, but yeah, it is what it is. Like the downside of the content that I upload, all of my content that has music is automatically copyright claimed, and I'm pretty sure that makes the algorithm generally look negatively on promoting me, because I get it. They don't want to upload a guy who uses other people's music primarily, and as a business standpoint, it makes sense. It kind of sucks. Yeah, I won't lie. It does kind of suck that a lot of my videos, I feel, don't get a lot of footage, but at least the flip side is true. When people do eventually find my videos, they truly love it. And I think that more than balances out the scales for me here. Um, do I think Cinderella or Dorothy had the more iconic slumber? What? Ta ta. I mean, Cinderella, Glass Slipper, Dorothy. Slippers were originally silver, but then someone took a look at the movies, decided to make it red. So, nostalgia sake, because if we're just talking straight movie like brilliance, I think the ruby slippers more iconic in my opinion. Yeah, it was supposed to it was supposed to be grounded in L. Frank Baum's like the gold. The symbolism was like gold versus silver, the power of gold and silver, but movie decision decided to make it red instead. So I think that was a much more tasteful decision. Let me see. Um, so what was it? Yeah. No, it made me slip back a little bit into nostalgia too, as far as like thinking about that stuff. Um, let me see what I have here. Has there been a song that you want to do that just didn't fit the speed bag medium? Uh, that Yes, there are songs that I do like, and it's very hard to translate them into speedback. I can't think of it off the top of my head because I'm drawing a brain fart right now. But yes, I do occasionally have a couple of those. Especially if it's like a very fast song. I'm gated by the fact that I can only do so many rebounds on this with my current stamina and skill. So if it's way beyond that, it's hard for me to do. David Candia, just want to say I love your videos. Thank you, appreciate that. Um, Random. Uh, what is my favorite song in general? My favorite song in general. That is a good question. So I think here, let me actually play you one of my favorite songs right now. So this one is called "Racing into the Night" by Yoasobi, uh, Japanese duo. Okay, this was a very popular song in 2019. Um, I have a very soft spot for songs that feature a very good thematic piano line and like really good like rhythm articulation. So let me play that one for you too. It's been a while since I've uploaded uh this, but this will be like a good revisit, okay? Oh, sorry, my speaker turned off. One sec, one sec, one sec. Um, 沈むように溶けてゆくように二人 That's very weird. I apologize. My song was skipping a lot there, so I'm gonna just chop that right there. Uh, yeah, I'm not sure why that skipped out quite a bit, but anyways, yeah, that's a song that I really love. If you're willing to do another first free, there's some of the questions. Try to do impress your creators by tubbering. Yeah, let me go through the questions first here. Dang, he looked kind of Filipino. I mean, I do sweat a lot. I get it. Hey, slowly. Yeah, very nostalgic feel to me. I had to look up what the song was from another from an anime. Yeah. Yes. So do this song with Speedbag and beat piano. You're funny. Yeah. I wouldn't even know how to set up the logistics for recording that. Just like recording the piano, doing so many takes of that, doing the Speedbag recording so many takes of that, and then video editing all of that mishmash together. Whew. I've seen some guys on YouTube who post like really comprehensive covers. There's a guy, Little V or something. He posts like metal covers of like anime songs. Insane. There's a drummer called the 8-Bit Drummer who covers a lot of video game OST stuffs. I admire his skill as well too. And then yeah, there's a lot of excellent cover artists on YouTube. So me just kind of throwing, I guess, or like stepping into that puddle there with my decent speedback skills, but like pretty messy piano chops. I don't know, man. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Impress your creators by tubbering. Impress your creators by tubbering. Let me test something here on the speaker real quick. I have a feeling the speaker may be running out of juice, but I'll charge it up a little bit. Okay. What is the song? Impress your creators. So that's why my signal is chopping out. My signal is not good. That's why. Okay, so here's Impress Your Creators. Never heard this song before. Electro swingish. Okay. I dig it.
There was an average Tuesday. There was a shooting star. Then everything went fucking nuts. Giant streamers come dance. I love music and gods. So listen. They said we all your neighbors like chances. So creators now. So string that. So how about that?
Oh, that was it. Okay. Oh, that was a very short song. Yeah, that was a nice, cute little electro swingish one. Yes, I've done the Dragon Ball theme. I've got that. It's called I forget what the name of it was, but yeah, I've got that uploaded. Check out my YouTube channel. I think it's called Chala Hechala. Yes, I have that on my YouTube. I highly recommend you check one that out. I think of you every time I hear it. Everyone's think, oh, I run the jewels. No, okay. Okay. You're funny. You're my goat. Can you do CAFO by animals as leaders? No. My skill level is not anywhere close to that. Yeah, sorry to say. I've listened to CAFO quite a bit. I'm not gonna be there for a while with that one. Same thing goes for I get quite a few requests for Avenged Sevenfold. Um, but yeah, the chops that those guys do is it's very hard for me to condense that down to speed bag as it is right now. Like those guys are nuts, okay? And I mean in a good way. They've worked very hard to perfect their craft. You know, they got to where they are. They're professional musicians touring because they put a lot of time into it and they can do it consistently. Um, I don't quite have that breadth of experience with the speed bag, even though I've made some headway, but I recognize that if I want to even approach that level, I just gotta hit the lab. Like I gotta practice if I want to even approach that. Yeah. Have next fear number one. Have you ever heard a song and immediate thought about doing it on the speed bag? Um, yeah, there's a couple of songs that I listen to every now and then. Like for me, a lot of the nostalgia I get is like I've done a lot of rhythm game based songs, especially on like DDR and Pump It Up. And of course, you know, there's a lot of K-pop songs and like English songs that have a lot of nostalgic meaning for me. I've been doing a lot of like rhythm game based songs lately, and I really like that because I think it translates well. Um, SOAD is a System of a Down. Will I do more System of a Down covers? Um, maybe in the future, but right now it's currently not on my mind right now. I think I do get a lot of requests for Toxicity by System of a Down, but yeah, I it's a bit on the back burner. Yeah, it's not yeah. So right now I'm just trying to work on the song list that I have right now. There's a couple of ideas that I have spinning with certain songs, and I'd at least like to kind of close the chapter, or at least publish a video on them before I move on to some other content because it's a little tricky for me to set down something and come back to it. I'd rather finish and conclude that effort first and then go on to the next thing. Yeah. Another common request that I've gotten was this was it Franz Ferdinand? Give me a second. Franz um Franz Ferdinand, Take Me Out. So yeah, that's Franz Ferdinand Take Me Out right there. So yeah, that was that's also a popular request for me currently right now too. Yeah, I'll see what I can do to upload a cover of that as well. Okay, yeah. Um, oh goodness, yeah. So my stamina is a little bit shot now, but so I think we'll go ahead and start closing the stream here shortly for a little bit. But once again, just want to thank you guys. Thanks for tuning in on a Saturday night or Sunday morning, wherever your time zones are. From those of you all around the world who are turning into my stream, truly, thank you so much. And hopefully we'll do this again. My schedule is a little bit crazy right now, but there's an open spot. I do see a lot of people interested in these live streams. So I'll see what I can do. So thanks again, guys, and hope you all have a good night. Okay, peace.